Teammates, first and foremost, if this is your first time listening to the Move Swiftly podcast, welcome to the show. Welcome to the number one show on innovative teamwork. Great to have you. Looking forward to having you back for some more, and some more. There are new episodes to this show every single day. That's how we get down. Every single day, we bringing you nothing but the best. All right. To my regular listeners, you already know how we get down, right to the point. And I thought I was through with this. All right, I thought I was through with talking about the D Wade statue. All right, the statue of Dwyane Wade that was recently recorded. I'm recording this. It is November 2nd, 2024. And just this week, about a week ago from this recording, the Miami Heat have unveiled a statue of Dwyane Wade right outside of the Miami Heat arena. And it has gotten a ton of criticism, a ton of feedback, a ton of opinions, a ton of memes, a ton of things that I personally just am absolutely disgusted by. I'm absolutely disgusted with the amount of criticism and the just the amount of jokes and the way you just kind of poke fun at people, and the lack of people actually coming out and saying something about the criticism. That's what's really been bothering me. All right, that's what's has really frustrated me, is the fact that I have heard nobody except him, obviously, come out and say, hey, at the end of the day, D Wade is a legend. D Wade has accomplished some incredible things. D Wade has accomplished something in this world that very few people get to do. And especially, and I'm gonna take it to race in a second, because we are recording this around a couple days. I am recording this around a couple days from the election, where you get a bunch of people who are telling black men that if they support Donald Trump, then they're racist. However, these same black men are going to look at a statue like Dwyane Wade, and as opposed to, being congratulatory, as opposed to being appreciative and kind of using the statue as a motivating factor, the way to motivating young black boys to, go out and accomplish incredible things. Instead, they're on national TV poking fun at it. They don't have problems. They don't have problems when you get white men are the same white men that are talking about how they want to work with small businesses and all that. They have no fucking problems when you have white men. The man who's running for vice president right now, well, hopefully he loses, right? Tim Walz, who's actually this was actually what set me off on another level. What set me off on another level is when I saw Tim Walz, the current nominee for the Democratic Party, the current nominee for vice president, who I've kind of been inspired by his story, being a former high school football coach. The fact that he got on Dan Le Batard's show and had the audacity to call Dwyane Wade's statue pretty horrific, when it comes to the small businesses that he claims to care so much about. The fact that D Wade worked with a small business to build this statue, and there were a lot of details that went into it. How are we not upset about that? How is that something that just kind of goes in one ear and out the other, and we just don't pay attention to it? Right. So we're going to dive into, I know I went on a rant a little early today because there's certain things that just bother me, but we're going to talk about the contradiction that comes, and why this representation and why the reaction to this statue shows that regardless of who gets put in office, regardless of what is happening in the White House, at the end of the day, we as black men need to start to look out for ourselves, and we need to start to come to the defense. We need to stop with the poking fun at certain things, and we need to just be very more cohesive in regards to how we present ourselves to the world, and stop looking for somebody to blame. All right, stop with this victim mentality, because what I'm seeing when it comes to the lack of defense of this statue is the issue. Right here is the issue. The fact that we have people who don't have a statue, who don't have anything known to their name, the fact that they can go poke fun at a situation when this is an incredible time for him and his family. This was an incredible moment that he gets to share with not only his family, but the fan base, the people that, have been to D Wade games and Miami Heat fans and were able to kind of live through his era of basketball, and to see him be able to accomplish that, that gives us inspiration to do some incredible things in our own life. And for us to have to go online and see it being poked fun of, oh, it don't look like it, and kind of make a joke of it, that ruins the moment. That ruins the moment. It ruins the moment. It makes it even worse, because we see his peers. We see actual black men who complain about a racist society, complain about systematic racism, and complain about misogyny, complain about systemic race, the marginalization and all that kind of stuff. All these people, all these talking heads on TV who are so willing to complain when it's convenient, are very few of them. Again, none of them. I haven't heard anyone stand up and say, I mean, before I record this, I listened to Stephen A. Smith's take on it, and he sort of came to his defense. He, as he always does, kind of played both sides because he's so talented at what he does. He got to played both sides with it. He pretty much said, he pretty much, again, sort of said, hey, I was there. His specific words were, I was at the unveiling, because him and Dwyane Wade obviously have history. They've, known each other for years and all that. He did mention the fact that, D Wade's a legend in Miami, the greatest Miami Heat player of all time, and, responsible for championship. He praised D Wade, but then he obviously gave into some of the criticism by saying, oh, well, I feel like the face should have been altered a little bit and stuff like that. And then kind of gave him a backhanded compliment, as always. And again, I'm not knocking Stephen A. for his take. That's just kind of what he, as the person who's at the head of his in his lane, or has been doing takes for so long, he knows how to kind of see both sides and speak on both sides. But what I'm telling you today is, we got to stop doing this. All right. To me, this is the hypocrisy. To me, this is the contradiction. To me, this is the problem right here. What we do in our everyday life is the problem that we see. That's what creates the systemic racism that so many people talk about. This is what creates the marginalization that so many people talk about, and so many people complain about when somebody else is doing, when it's clear, or when it's convenient to complain about it. Now, to preference everything, I'll just tell you, myself, as one Crookshank, all right, I myself have been on the receiving end of a ton of roast sessions, all right, that a lot of people like to call it roast sessions. If you don't know what that means I've been on the receiving end of a lot of criticism. I've been made fun of a ton of throughout my entire life. Everywhere I've went, I've been made fun of. Some of it all in good humor, some of it, unwanted, some of it, just kind of because I am who I am, because my name, as one Crookshank, it's difficult to pronounce, oh, he's ass magical one, all that kind of stuff. Again, I am football guy, played football, know how it goes down in the locker room, and hey, guys want to poke a little fun, crack some jokes, I'm all for it. 1,000%. 1,000%. I'm all for it. Love cracking jokes. Love, playing the dozens with people. I argue with people all the time. It's all in good fun. I 1,000% understand that. And today, when as I'm discussing the criticism and the jokes that D Wade statue has gotten, I'm not telling you not to have a little fun. All right. I'm not here being picky and saying, oh, well, because he's a legend, or because I'm such a huge D Wade fan, or because I'm a Miami Heat fan, that you can't have a little fun with him, poke a little fun. Again, I was, in fact, if we're talking about D Wade, I am with you when it comes to him painting his fingernails and all that. That's something I can't really get with. And I never really, again, I'm not going to go in publicly, but that's something that I couldn't really explain, right? You're going to have a little fun there. Cool. And more so speaking on D Wade, because, towards the end of I'd say towards the middle to end of his career, he started to come, especially when he was like with the Heat and all that, especially those those years where he was with LeBron and Bosh, and the Heat used to get a lot of attention from the media. D Wade would come in with these outfits, And he had on there was one time he had on these pink pants. He had on these pink pants, and you see that you have the NBA TNT crew, and they see them walking in with their outfits and all and all that. And he came to the press conference and he started off by saying, "I know they killing me. I know they killing me in the office with my pink pants and all that." So again, I haven't met D Wade. Actually, I went to a book signing. It was him and Gabrielle Union. So him and Gabrielle Union actually had a conversation for her, like a live conversation out here in Miami when Gabrielle Union put out her second book called "You Got Anything Stronger," and it was just them two just chatting. It was just like a small setting. I know, so that's the closest I've ever come to actually meeting him personally, and that was a very actually revealing, very very revealing conversation. I saw him in a light that I've never seen him before, and again, I'm a huge fan of his, huge fan of the Miami Heat and all that. So I get it. Listen, he's very personable, very fun guy, very much, is willing to play the dozens and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, like I was just explaining to you, I myself have been on the receiving end of a ton of roast sessions. All right. And I could tell you from experience, when I've been on the receiving end, or if I'm dishing it out, whatever it is, I am more so able to understand or laugh or be okay with being in a roast session when it was in a football locker room. All right. It was, and then because that was my life, and these were my peers. These were people that I went to battle with, I work hard with. We go out, we compete, we have fun, we party, we open up. We like the same girls, we talk about the same girls. Some of the things that bother us in our personal lives, they're like your brothers. So you play the dozens with them, you have fun, you kick it, you drink with them, and do all that kind of stuff. You just go through life. So again, if I'm in the locker room and people want to throw some jokes, hey, I'm all about it. Loosen up the mood. But here's the issue that's come up with the statue. All right. The people who are publicly criticizing him, who do not have a statue, all right, it has led to the internet going fucking crazy. And this is the issue. All right. So here was the issue. Here's the issue. You get somebody like a Charles Barkley. We'll use Charles Barkley as an example. Now, Charles Barkley, I didn't even know this until actually all this stuff came out. I didn't even know Charles Barkley had a statue. That's how much more of an impact that D Wade, if we're comparing the two NBA legends, D Wade has had that much more of an impact than Charles. But I didn't even know that he had a damn statue. And it's not a statue in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. It's a small, tiny statue that he has in, I believe, in Auburn. He played at Auburn, so it's a small, tiny statue that he had in Auburn. And then Shaq has a more legit statue for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's one of him dunking and all that. So they gave their take on D Wade statue. And now, if I'm not mistaken, D Wade used to actually, I'm not sure if he's doing it anymore, but he actually used to do stuff with TNT. So them having a conversation about D Wade statue, it's appropriate, right? You got two people on the set that have statues themselves, although Charles is not in the NBA. At the end of the day, he's a legend, he's a Hall of Famer, and he deserves to have a take on what the statue looks like. And obviously, Shaq is arguably the greatest big man to ever play the game. He won a championship with D Wade. He has a statue outside of the Lakers arena too. So, them two deserve to have an opinion on D Wade statue. Right. Now, here is what should have happened. Them two, if they had any criticism towards the statue whatsoever, if them two had any criticism towards the statue at all, which obviously they did. Obviously, it was, for them, they had things that they wanted to say. They wanted to criticize it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. What they needed to do, what a responsible journalist does, or what a responsible reporter does, what a responsible human being does, is they don't make that shit public. You don't make it public. You guys know D Wade. You got his number. Shoot this guy a text privately. Y'all, poke a little fun at him through a message or whatever, and y'all keep it private. You stay in that elite level of basketball players, elite level of talent that has statues of them, and you have that group of people that get to poke a little fun at him and say, hey, that old guy, or whatever it is, play the dozens with him, whatever it is. At the end of the day, the people like myself who don't have a statue with them, or don't have a statue made for them, or anybody that has access to what they said, they shouldn't be able to hear that, because it diminishes his accomplishments. And the way it gets communicated on TV is you get two black men, two NBA Hall of Famers who are being really critical and making fun of another black man and poking fun at him for something that that he deserves to get credit for. He deserves to be praised for. He deserves to be, him and his family and the young people who look up to him, and the people who, like I said, get inspiration from him. They need to be getting they ruin a moment. They ruin a moment in which can be looked at and be drawn. People can be drawn inspiration from, as opposed to yeah, they ruined the moment, as opposed to you guys, as opposed to if they were to keep it private, if they were to keep that private and they would just not let it be something that goes viral. Now the people who have, little things, or little jabs to say about his statue, they really don't. I mean, it really just goes in one ear and out the other. And that is the kind of culture we live in. That is the problem. And we're so willing, and further along, the issue is we are so willing to blame Trump for this, and then calling Trump a racist, and calling Trump a person who is so against and negative towards black men. In fact, I'm recording this a day after LeBron James put out a tweet in which, I mean, was just completely off, saying he's going to vote for Harris, not because of Harris in per se, but everything was about what Trump may do and Trump has done and all this other kind of, like, the video was completely just had absolutely nothing to do with why Harris is qualified, and had everything to do with what Trump has done, or why Trump is a racist, which is, again, a ridiculous argument in itself. And these are the things that we got to start to point out, and we got to stop doing this. We got to stop doing this to people in general. I don't think Dwyane Wade deserves to have that level of criticism, especially when it comes to the people who don't have a statue named after him, or don't have any, and there's nobody building a statue for you. You shouldn't be able to be that guy that's coming in and just starting to point the finger and poking fun at one of the legends, one of the people that really built the league, and one of the people that have, can draw inspiration, that people can draw inspiration from, because you want to get likes and shares and tweets and a bunch of, hearts on your damn posts, because you want some fucking social media interaction. That's bullshit. It shouldn't be okay. And the fact that we don't have his peers, other legends, other NBA legends, other people who have a statue, the fact that we don't have them stepping up and saying, hey, enough with the jokes. All right, certain people get to make the jokes. You guys don't. Certain people get to make the jokes privately. You guys don't. And to close out my point, in case anyone's listening to me right now and they're saying, Oswan, you're being a little bit too picky. I know your boy, Dwyane Wade, you're a D Wade fan, all that kind of stuff. I know people have told you favor D Wade and all that. Before you even get there, before you even start saying that or putting that in the comments, wherever you're listening to, before you start thinking that in your head, because I know the people that know me personally know how much of a D Wade fan I was coming up. Before you even get there, I'm going to tell you why my point is on solid ground. Because Dwyane Wade himself has come out and said, after all this, even after all the memes and the jokes and all the bitch smacking that he took online with all the fun and games and the people publicly criticizing him and just nasty things. Like, one of the things that really pissed me off was the Mad Dog Russo. Like, motherfucker, what? Yo, I know I'm down. I'm trying to keep myself to only 10 curse words a day, and I know right now, God, I ain't. I'm not doing my part on that, but certain topics drive me crazy. I'm working towards this, Lord. Heavenly Father, I'm working towards, please. All right. But when Mad Dog Russo had the audacity, and they do this stupid ass shit on ESPN, the what's Mad Dog mad about Wednesday or some nonsense like that. What the energy and the kind of the way that he spoke about this legend, Dwyane Wade, the way he spoke about the statue was, I don't get it. I don't get how you can get this white boy on TV talking about one of our legends, and us as black men are okay with this. We should not be okay. Yeah, it's Stephen A. Smith, Mr. I'm for black people. I'm, all about, you have someone that you personally, no, you were at the fucking unveiling. Okay, you saw the way he reacted. You saw how legendary. You saw everything that was associated with that moment, and how much it meant for him to have a statue outside the arena. You talk, and see, this is what I mean when it comes to Stephen A. He talks out of both sides of his mouth, right? You saw how much it meant to him, and for Mad Dog Russo, for you to be okay with Mad Dog Russo on national TV, on the number one sports show on TV, ESPN, for you to be okay with the way he blasted that statue and the way he, talked about how ugly it was. I mean, just the absolute vigor and disgust and the anger, how mean and personal what his take was on that. What are you mad about Wednesday on that statue? Okay, for you to be okay with that and stand there and be okay with it, it confirms everything Whitlock has said about him. It confirms everybody that has ever been critical about Stephen A. Smith being a fucking puppet, being an Uncle Tom, being a guy that is only going to stick up for black people when it's convenient for him. When it's convenient for him, it confirms all that. You give them credence. Because if you really about it, then you say, Mad Dog Russo, look, enough is enough. Okay. You don't got a statue. You at least come in, and as professional as if it's me, if I'm the black man on set, I'm like, look, Mad Dog Russo, with all due respect, you don't got a statue. You don't get to be that critical. You can poke some fun, you can have an opinion, but you don't get to be on national TV. And you could say this because you're Stephen A. Smith. You can say this on national TV that you don't get to be on national TV talking like that because you don't got no fucking statue. You don't. That's what needs to be said. That's what needs to be said. I just said what he needed to say, and that's my biggest issue when it comes to this. And I know I've been rambling a lot on this episode because these are things that we're talking politics, we're talking this sudden uproar, we're talking, us as black men supposedly supposed to be sticking together. We're talking a lot of this stuff, and we see it in our day-to-day action. It's only when it's damn convenient. And we got to stop doing it. The crew of people, the tribe of people in which I talk to every single day, those business owners, the people that really tune into my work every single day. And like I said, if you're new around here, this is what we do. We're about being who we are every single day. We don't take days off. We don't take days off in regards to what's convenient. We absolutely stand on our principles, and we go at it every single day, and we point these things out. We don't look for other people to blame. We don't look to play the victim mentality. We don't look and could be in situations and lack consistency and all that kind of stuff. We show up every single day to build things as a team because we know we're not doing it alone. This is why this is the number one podcast on innovative teamwork, is because as I go out into this world and I see certain things, I have to address it. So I'm here because no one else is going to do it. I haven't heard anyone do it. By the time this episode comes out, it would be kind of old news. The D Wade statue would be old news. However, the rhetoric behind it is going to be how ugly it was. It's not going to be something that is going to be used as inspiration as much as it's now going to be kind of the punchline for a lot of people's jokes and, memes and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of has ruined what the statue is meant to do. So I myself am coming out and saying, we got to stop it. We got to look at D Wade statue as an inspiration for a lot of young black men to go out and accomplish whatever it is they want to do in this world. Dream up whatever it is you're trying to dream up, whatever it is you want to do, and go be Go be great in whatever career field, whatever you decide to do in your work, in your career, whatever it is you decide to do, go out and be great at it and use the statue of D Wade, use D Wade's statue as a form of inspiration. And regardless of whatever your opinion may be on how it looks, go look at what Dwyane Wade himself has said about it. Understand that this is the way he wanted it. And if D Wade is good with it, the jokes are off. The opinions, your opinion about what it looks like, all that stuff doesn't matter. And it's irresponsible for you to have any public criticism towards it whatsoever. Whatsoever. If Dwyane Wade is happy with it, let it go and move on. That's my take on it. And more people need to step up and say it. All right. All that being said, as one Crookshank, check it out. All right, well, hold on. Let me officially close the show because I know I was rambling a little bit. Before I officially close the show, I do want to make a few announcements. If you are living out here in the West Palm Beach area, I do have free boxing lessons. I've opened that back up. Just go to freeboxing.makeyourmove.com. Also, business owners, anybody that is new to this world, if you have not yet, make sure you go to freeguide.makeyourmove.com and put in your information. You'll get a free guide on the 10 best ways. I create a list of the 10 best ways to use innovative teamwork to reduce the turnover in your business. So just hit those two websites and we can stay plugged in and all that kind of stuff. All right. All now I got those announcements out the way because sometimes I forget to do it because I get so fired up on the topic. Right. Fellow teammates, continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.